What's up, everyone? This is Betamax.
What's up, everyone? This is Betamax.
What's up, everyone? This is Betamax. My ha 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 ha. What's up, everyone? This is Betamax. My name is Fidel, and joining me, as always, is Eddie and Birdie. What's up, guys?
Chilling.
Hey.
What?
What's up?
Oh, I thought you said A, like you're about to say something.
Hey.
Oh.
Mr. Ace.
Mr. Ace. What are we talking about today, guys? Eddie,
I don't know. What are we talking about?
your idea.
Oh, yeah. So 2 weeks ago,
Mm-hmm.
you were telling us a situation that happened with your mom.
Uh-huh.
And while you were telling the story, I was like, man, that's fucking weird.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because I could not imagine my mom being in a situation like that. And you were just so, like, whatever about it.
Yeah.
And it got me thinking, like, man, all three of us come from different households, like, parent-wise, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, well, what, you want to just jump straight into it, or what?
Yeah, fuck it.
So I did want to, like, bring this up because I was like, man, we chill a lot.
Yeah.
And we're into, for the most part, the same shit.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, we all had different upbringings. Like, completely different. And
Mm-hmm.
Birdie kind of falls, like, in the middle of me and you. And me and you are just on the opposites. And so I was like, man, it's interesting how, like, we connected.
Yeah.
Even though, like, we're just... I guess chances are, like, we shouldn't be. In
Yeah.
a weird way,
Yeah.
I guess. But, yeah, I was just thinking about that, and I was like, let's talk about it. So, take it from here, Fidel.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining us.
That is true. Because, man, every time I talk to you guys and I get some personal information from you guys, I'm always like, well, that's way different than what I experienced, you
Yeah.
know. And I think we all grew up in like different areas too, because you grew up in Orlando.
Yeah.
Eddie grew up in Riverside.
No,
and-
Orange County.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. See, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. So you came to Riverside like in high school?
Before high school.
Like junior high?
Junior high. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
And then I grew up all over like LA County, basically. And then I came to the Inland Empire like in the middle of 8th grade, like right before high school. But yeah, I thought of that too. I always thought of that. I was like, so interesting that we have this dynamic going on, and we're like,
Yeah.
you know, coming from different worlds. And I also had an interest too, just like Eddie, like where it was like, how did we end up friends? You know, like how did
Yeah.
it's like almost feels like it wasn't supposed to happen, but it did. Like Eddie said, you know, we just yeah.
You when you're talking right now, you said how Birdie's like in the middle of like us, of me and you.
Yeah.
And I know what you mean by that, but I always try to be like not necessarily compare people's experiences. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just so, because I don't want somebody to think like, oh, like I've had it worse or you've had it worse. Like it just, to me, the whole idea of like whose experience is worse is subjective to that person.
Yeah,
you know?
I meant it more as like literally like he's like in the middle because he has his mom, and from what I know, I mean I don't know really anything about your dad, like, but since I've known you, like your dad just, you'd never bring him up or anything, so I assume like he's not in the picture, obviously. So like I've always heard you like hype up your mom, so like in my head I'm like, you know, that he has his mom and that's it. And Fidel, from what I know, it's like you barely had any of them, and you know,
It's for me, it's crazy just because like I didn't have absent parents as far as like physically absent parents.
Yeah.
Like they were there, but as far as like having that support and just
Emotionally, they just weren't there.
yeah, it was just these adults I lived with.
Okay.
Basically,
yeah.
And so they were like babysitters, basically.
to an extent, yeah.
So then like Birdie had support from his mom,
Yeah.
and then I had both parents support. So Yeah, so that's what I mean. Like, it's funny that it worked out this way because, like, I don't know why we didn't have this idea before, but
I kind of wanted to explore something like this, but I don't know how you guys would feel about it.
I'm an open book, dude.
Yeah.
I'm an open book.
Because I know you, like, one thing that all three of us have in common is that we're pretty private with, like, most of our stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Unless, like, people ask, and we're like, yeah, we'll ask, but we'll never be, like, straight up, like, oh,
Yeah.
you know, like, this, that about me, this, that about me. Like how most people are on the internet.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? Especially like on TikTok, dude. Like, they'll just go off, you know, and
trauma dump.
Yeah, and it'll just be like overwhelming. Like,
we can do that, dude.
And it'll just be like overwhelming. It'll be like, damn, dude, like, you sound like you need to talk to someone, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah. Sorry, I don't know where I was going.
Well, I mean, today's Father's Day, so.
Yeah, you guys, I assume. I'm laughing because I'm nervous, dude. But I assume you guys don't have any plans.
It's funny because, like, my sister had called me on Friday, I believe it was, and I was at work. And she was like, hey, just wondering, like, do you have any plans for my dad? The kind of sidebar. Do you guys have a thing, like, well, you say my mom or my dad to your sibling?
Mm-hmm.
I just say, like, dad or mom.
You just say dad or mom?
Yeah.
I wonder what that is, because, like, I remember somebody pointed that out to me one time, because when they heard me talking to my sister, saying,
how do you
like,
refer to them?
Me and my sister just say, like, my mom, my dad, like, possessive. And they're like, oh, you guys have different moms? I'm like, no. Like, oh, do you have different dads? Like, no. Like, as far as me and my little sister.
Oh, okay, I see what you mean.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, anyway, to go back, like, she had called me and she's like, hey, do you have any plans for my dad for Father's Day? And I said, no, I don't have anything planned. And the way she responded, like, I could tell she was kind of like, she didn't say anything, but she was just like, oh, okay. Well, okay. So, it felt kind of awkward, and I've never really had an awkward situation or conversation with my sister like that.
Yeah.
So I was like, do you have anything planned? And she goes, I don't have anything planned yet, but if I do, I'll let you know. And then I just said, okay. And that was it. That was the end of the conversation. And I haven't heard from her. So I'm assuming, because me and her are pretty close, and we can kind of read each other.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like maybe she kind of sensed that, like, I don't want to do anything. And it's not necessarily because I have any, like, hate towards my dad or anything. It's just I don't have that type of relationship with him. Like, yeah, I'm grateful for him now. Like, he's there for me now. Like, but as far as, like, a paternal, like, fatherly relationship, I don't really have that with him.
Right.
And, like, I could see she does have that with him now that she's moved back, and just seeing how he is, like, as a grandpa with her son. Like, I understand why she feels a lot closer to him now.
Right.
So mine and his relationship isn't to that point. Like, and I'm okay with that. Like, I'm okay with that. Like, it's not something that I'm just like, fuck, like, this sucks. Like, yeah, it does, but I'm okay with it.
You come to terms with that. Like, with how he just kind of.
Yeah.
You know? Well, it's like, because it definitely gets, because we're all in our 30s now.
Yeah.
So, like, it definitely gets to a point where it's just, like, too little too late.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And that sounds, like, malicious to say, but it's kind of, like, a brutal truth, you know?
Yeah. I mean, there's no way around it, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, that's just how life is. Like, it's even relevant, like, in the animal kingdom, you know? I mean, it's just, like, you never see a baby deer without, like, the mom around. You never see, like, a baby gorilla, like, without the dad trying to, you know, show them what's up, you know?
Yeah.
Like, they're always there until they know, like, oh, this was good. I can let him conquer life now, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like, I think that just kind of backs up my point where it's just like, you know, like, it gets to a point in your life where it's just like you have to be there, and if you're not, it's gonna be late. It's gonna be, you're gonna reach a point where it's gonna be late, you know? And it's just how it is, you know?
Yeah, and, like, I know my dad, he has a lot of regrets, and he's, like, voiced them to me, and he's apologized for a lot of stuff. And
oh, that's good.
yeah, and there is some stuff that, like, he's still to this day denies, even though I've been witness to.
Right.
Examples.
The whole drug use stuff.
All right.
He like adamantly denies it
Okay.
to this day, and I'm just like, even like talking to my little sister, he denies it to her too.
Do you ever push back? You were
At
like,
first-
dude,
at
you know
first-
what? I'm not a kid. Stop.
Oh yeah, at first I did, but now I'm just like, he's an older man now. I'm older now. Like, what's the point?
Right.
And like, I just look at it as like we have a civil like relationship.
Right.
So like, there's really no point to even bring it up with him anymore. You know.
Right.
And like looking back at things, and I've said this before, him like leaving when I think I was like 16, 17, was probably like the best thing to happen to like our family.
Oh, okay.
Because I feel like if he would have stayed, he would have definitely ended up dead.
Mm.
And who knows like where me and my little sister would have ended up. Like, so I feel like him leaving, and like we've had the conversation of like why he left and didn't try to take us with him. Because at the time I was just like, he fucking just abandoned us, you know? Just left us, like, and I don't know why. But like, I'm getting older and talking to him, I've come to understand why. And it's not like, I'm not like, oh, like, good for you. Because there's still some, like, that's fucked up that you did it that way. But I understand why. It was a survival instinct, basically.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, I got pretty deep into that one.
Yeah. Yeah, it was to kind of get into depth into like my side of things, correlating with kind of how you like grew up or whatever.
Yeah.
Let's see. Because my dad was definitely around, like after I was born, like he was around, like he was around. Because my dad's a paisa, dude.
Yeah.
My dad's a paisa, like he's a fucking paisa. Like he knows no English, doesn't know how to read or write. I mean, like he's like the dudes like in the Home Depot parking lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like he like that being said, he's always had this like machismo thing, just like any paisa does, you know. And you walk in front of a paisa with like tight jeans, they'll be like pinche joto.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know.
So he was definitely like when he found out that he was having a like me, like it was kind of like oh, I'm having a boy, you know, I got to do boy things, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he was definitely around. I think for that reason, just because he was like, you know, I'm having a boy, you know, I gotta be present, and like he was around my childhood, like typical, like I said, machismo paisa, where if like he was into like the beatings and shit, but it never got out of hand because my mom was always there to like step in and be like, oh, you're not getting out of hand with my kids, dude. Like I'm okay with spankings and hitting here and there, but you're not throwing beatings around. Not in my house. Not with my kids. And then my parents divorced, like around the age of 7. It's always a mix-up because my mom always tells me these stories.
Yeah.
She was like, "You were 5. You were 6," and it's like, man, I could have swore I was already like a kid. You know? Yeah. And then after that, it just like the relationship with me and him started getting a lot more weirder. Cause like after the divorce, it was like it got to the visitation rates phase of mine and his relationship, which none of you guys are familiar with that.
No.
Because when you get divorced and it gets pretty bad, like how it did with my parents' divorce, and it gets pretty bad, you have to go to court and you have to sit in front of a judge, and the judge has to tell you, like, you guys have to figure out, like where the kid's gonna go. Is the kid gonna go with the mom or the dad? And you guys have to figure out visitation rights because, like, you guys obviously still want your kids around, but if that's the case, then I mean, we have to figure out a plan.
Yeah.
Like, when is this kid going there, and when is, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
it got it got pretty bad, dude. Like my mom had to get like a restraining order on him.
Oh shit.
Yeah, because like he used to beat the shit out of my mom and shit. Like she's got like fucking missing teeth and shit. And yeah, it got to the point, and then they ended up coming up to me and they're like, "Do you want to see him every weekend, every other weekend?" So I was like, "I'll do every other weekend. I don't want to see him like every weekend. That'd be weird." And then after that, like I would see him every other weekend, and they go, like it just got like weird because like every time I would see the guy, like it'd be like I'd have to show him how I love him, but I don't want to be gay and just be like I love you. You know what I mean? Because like I said, my dad's like a paisa machismo, so he's just not into that sentimental, emotional stuff. So it's like, how do I do this? I'm just gonna buy him shit. Dude, like
I think that's like just a general like Mexican dad thing.
Yeah.
I mean, because most of my friends that are Mexican, like for them to say like, "Oh, I love you, Dad," like it's kind of like it's weird, it's foreign.
Yeah, like it's just like I don't know. Like I said, it's probably like a machismo thing. Where
It's like a culture thing, dude. Like, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Like I don't even think it's like. Well, I mean, maybe, but like, yeah, I think it's just a culture thing, dude.
I think
it's
so.
Weird to me.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, I definitely agree with you that. But yeah, like that would be like his saying. Like I remember getting a Game Boy Advance one weekend. I got like a fucking Nintendo 64 one weekend. I got like 10 Stone Cold Steve Austin shirts one weekend. Like it would just be like that. Like it would I could tell it was him being like, this is how I'm showing you my love, you know. But I can't do the whole love you. You know?
That's how my dad was too.
Yeah, and it's just like and it got to the point, and then it got to the point where I stopped seeing the guy, because it was like in my head I kind of figured like this relationship isn't going anywhere, man. Like I'm not learning anything from you. And then my mom had already remarried, and that guy was a piece of shit, and he was a factor too into why I stopped going to see my dad, because like dude, every time I came back from my dad's house, it was always an argument between me and that guy. Wow. Me and my mom's husband at the time. Like it was always a fucking argument, dude. Like from the ages of like I'm gonna say like 10 all the way till I stopped seeing him freshman year. So I was 14. Yeah, so I was like 14. So between the ages of 10 and 14, like coming home every weekend from seeing my dad, getting in an argument with some fucking asshole. Like, why don't you go see your dad? He hates you. He doesn't love you. Blah, blah, blah. He just buys you things. And it's like, so I got to the point where I was just like, I'm tired of hearing this fucking baby at my house, like, bitch about me going to see my dad. I don't even want to see my dad anymore. Like, he's fucking weird. Yeah. You know? There's like, no, like I couldn't relate to the guy. Like, it was fucking corridos and beer every weekend, you know?
Yeah. Sorry.
And I was growing up and I was getting into music. I was getting into I don't know, whatever the fuck teenagers get into, you know, like at the time I was like weed, girls, like drinking, like it was just like I couldn't relate to the guy. I was just like, I'm over you and I'm over that guy. I'm just gonna stay home, you know. And then after that, I didn't see him again until I was 18.
Oh wow.
Yeah, until I was 18, because I moved out of my mom's when I was 18 because of her husband at the time.
Yeah.
Like I said, I was really tired of arguing with the guy. We were always getting in fights. Always almost getting to the point where it was getting physical. My mom always had to step in between. And then the reason I moved out was because like he just this dude got all fucking like he tried making the house into like Alcatraz and shit. Like you're gonna get a certain haircut. You're gonna wake up at a certain hour. You're gonna listen to like certain types of music. Yeah. Like you're gonna eat certain types of, like it just got like that gnarly where it was just kind of like I don't want to do this, man. Like I'm gonna fucking like kill you. Like that was like my plan. It's like, dude, I'm gonna wait till you go to bed. I'm gonna put a pillow over your head and I'm just gonna stab the shit out of your face. Fuck. Like, dude, I'm so hateful towards you. Yeah. I hate the fuck out of you, dude. And so instead, I was talking to my girlfriend at the time. She was, come live with me. Like, come live with me. Like, my mom loves you. Like, and that's what I did. Like, I moved out when I was 18. I moved in with my girl. And then I don't know how he found out. My dad. I don't know how the fuck he found out. But I just remember like one Saturday morning, like I woke up to like a knock on the bedroom door, and it was my girl's mom, and she was like, "Luis," "Wake up." And I thought she was like waking me up to go to work because her mom like had given me a job and we used to be coworkers. I looked at my watch. I'm like, oh fuck, am I supposed to go to work today? Oh fuck, I'm all panicky. I was like, hey, Imelda, like what's going on? I'm sorry, like am I late? And she was like, no, there's this guy like out front, and he's like saying he's her dad. Doesn't look like Ralph, because she knew my mom's husband. He's like, doesn't look like Ralph, but this guy's saying he's her dad. And I was like, okay, I'll be out there in a bit. I saw you, I was in my jammies and shit. So I like got dressed up and like I went out there and it was my dad. And I was like, well, this is weird, And then he was like, hey, what's up? Like, can I talk to you? I was like, sure, what's up? And we went to his truck. He had like a pickup truck. Like he put like the tailgate down so we could sit down and shit. And I was like, yeah, what's going on? What's up? Just wanted to check up on you. And I was like, I'm good, man. He's like, yeah, that's good. I found out from your sister, my big sister, I guess, told him. I found out from your sister that you had moved out of your mom's house, So I came looking for you. I couldn't go to your mom's house, obviously, because your mom still has a restraining order on me. I was like, okay. So what's up?
Yeah.
It's like, why don't you come visit me? I was like, what do you mean? Like, I was like, well, come visit me this weekend. I was like, sure, why not? Give me your address. And I wrote down his address, and like I got back in the house. I was talking to my girl, and I was like, should I go? Like, I don't know. Do you want to go? No, not really. This is weird. You know, I don't know the guy. She was like, just be nice. Just go. I was like, all right, I'll go. Fuck it. And I took her with me, and I went, and it was like, and then I went. It was just like a pointless visitation because I got there, and the guy was just like, have a beer with me, And then it got to the point in the night where like I came up to him, and it was like time for me to go home. I was like, hey, did you want to say anything to me? Like in Spanish, I was like, hey, did you want to say anything to me? And he was like, no. I was like, really? He was like, yeah. Come back whenever you want. Sure. I'll let you know. And then I would visit. After that, I would visit once in a while, and then and then my mom found out that I was like visiting him once in a while, and then she was like, okay, but I could tell it was kind of like bugging her.
Yeah.
So like I ended up talking to her, and I was like, I can tell it's bugging you, like, because like my mom was like, she's like my best friend.
Yeah.
So it's like, what's up, dude? Like, talk to me. Like, am I doing something wrong here? And like, I wouldn't say she was pissed, but she was kind of like, I don't like that guy.
Yeah.
And I was like, why not? I mean, I don't either, but I don't like him, but I don't necessarily hate him. But tell me, like, what are the reasons you feel so much like that? And then she like basically told me everything. Told me about the beatings, about the drugs. He used to do coke in the morning when we were kids in the house to wake up because like he would party all night, come home. He used to have guns in the house, like beat her, S8 her, And I was like, well, I never knew that. So thanks for telling me, And, but she wasn't being spiteful. She was just kind of like, I feel like you need to know these things about your dad, because I know he's not going to tell you.
Yeah.
And I know he wasn't either. Because like I said, I had went over there. I was like, hey, is there anything you want to tell me, dude? Is there anything?
Yeah.
18. What's up?
Yeah.
We can talk about some shit if you want, but he didn't want to. But yeah, she told me all that. She was like, I know your dad's not going to tell you. He's never going to tell you because for some reason your dad thinks he's like God's gift to fatherhood,
Yeah.
And I was like, Yeah, you're right. I don't think he would have ever told me that, you know. And yeah, and then that changed my whole perspective. And then I ended up talking to her again because he had called me. He's like, "Hey, when are you gonna see me again? And like, when are you gonna come visit me?" I was like, "I'll let you know, man. I'm really busy with work, and I have a girlfriend that I like spending time with."
Yeah.
And I was in the band at the time, so I was like, "Oh, and I make music, so I'm always like driving around. I'll let you know." And I called my mom again, and I was like, I don't know how do I deal with this? Because I don't want to be around the guy anymore, you know? But I don't want to be a dick, because I could tell this is his way of trying to, like redo what he should have done back in the day, you know? So it's up to you, mijo, you know, like, just, what does your heart tell you, you know? How do you feel about this guy? Do you feel like you love him, you know? Like, I don't want you to hate your dad. Like, she told me, she's like, I don't want you to hate your dad. Like, I just told you that because I need you to know who your dad is, who your dad really is. Because I don't want him painting a picture in your head of, like, he was this super nice guy, like, always, like, looking out for you. Like, no, he never gave a fuck about you.
Yeah.
Never gave a fuck about you. Like, he never even gave me money to help you. Like, growing up, like, he never paid a single child support paycheck, ever. Like he would just buy me shit, you know. But that was his way of like,
yeah,
that's my child support, you know. It's just like, how do you feel? I was like, I mean, I don't hate the guy, but I really don't like him, you know. Like, I really don't like him, because like I said, like, my mom is my best friend, so it's like, what's like any of you guys, you know? It's like if somebody came up to me and was like, "Hey, fuck Fidel," you know, like, he's a bitch, you know.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Then I'd be like, well, fuck
yeah,
him.
he is.
I agree.
Then I would be like, well, fuck you, dude. Like, that's the homie, you know? Like, fuck you. Like, I don't know you. Like, go away, dude. Like, go away. Fuck you. You know? And that's how I felt.
It's all me.
That's what's up.
But yeah, it's like, I was like, man, I just don't want to be around this dude. Like, I hate this dude.
Did you ever tell him you hate him?
No. I never did. I want to. Sometimes I want to, like, when life gets heavy, you know? Like, I just want to...
You still hold that anger?
Yeah. Yeah. Because that the last time, remember I mentioned, we were talking with Jimmy, I mentioned the panic attack.
Yeah.
Well, like, days like that, like, I feel like hitting that dude up and be like, oh, dude, this is your fault, you know? My brain is like this because of what you did, you know? Like, I hate you, you know? But then I, like, get rid of that, and I breathe, and I, you know, I clear my head, and I'm like, that would be so childish of me to do that.
Yeah.
That would be so immature. Well, I'm way mature than that. I'm way above that, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I'd rather just let the guy chill, you know, and just do his own thing, you know? But yeah, I was like, after that, I just like left the guy alone. Like, I didn't even piece him out or anything. I was just like, oh, I'm over it, dude. You know, too little, too late.
Yeah.
You know, you should have been a dad when I needed you to be a dad, you know? And that was, I mean, like, when I was 21. I haven't seen him since. I'm 32 now.
Oh, shit.
I haven't seen him since, and he hasn't hit me up, and he hasn't hit up my sister to be like, where's he living at, you know, because my sister knows.
Yeah.
Like, me and her still talk, you know. And, yeah, and that was just it, you know. I was like, okay, that's cool. But I try not to hold, like, any resentment towards the dude.
Yeah.
But then, like I said, when days where, like, I lose battles in my head, like, I'm just kind of like, oh, man. I feel like in my head I sound like Mia. So I'm like, I hate men. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I fucking hate men, man. Like, fuck. Because it's not just him, but it was like my mom's husband and like my stepdad at the time. Like, it was like these two men that I was supposed to look up to and trust. And
do you think that like painted a picture of like just men in general?
Definitely, yeah. Because like I said, this is gonna sound really,
Say it, dude.
but like when I hear people like me talk like that, where it's like I hate men, it's like I agree.
Yeah.
You know, like I fucking hate men too. Like fuck them. Like they're fucking dumb pieces of shit. You know. Like, and then my hair turns green, and you know, and then I'm in Portland. You know, like this is the fucking neighborhood, homie. Yeah, but then yeah, like yeah, it definitely painted a picture, and then that definitely added to me not wanting to have kids like ever, because it was like, and I still talk to my girl about this like nowadays too when we have like our deep conversations where I'm just like, man, sometimes I'm scared like that I'm gonna be like them, you know, like my mom's husband or my dad. Like sometimes I'm scared, like I got that seed in me that's maybe gonna grow one day if it accidentally gets a little water, you know. I feel like I have that capacity, and I don't like that, you know, because my girl has kids, you know, and they're around me sometimes, so, and then I'm kind of like, I don't want to be mean to you.
Yeah.
Stop touching my records, man. You know? I will fucking emotionally wreck you for the rest of your life, brother. No, but yeah, like it's like I talk to her too, because like sometimes me and her have some serious conversations, and like we'll throw scenarios at each other. She'll be like, oh, you know, what if you gotta take care of these, you know, at your house or something? You know, it's like that's scary, you know.
Yeah.
But then I think about why it's scary, and that's the reason why, because it's like I'm scared I'm gonna turn out like those dudes, you know,
like an image of your dad or something.
Yeah, like where I'm just gonna be like, tight pants, okay, you know, or I'm gonna be like, because my mom's husband was very like, if you showed emotion, like he would wreck you, dude. He would wreck your ass. Like if you cried, like, oh, you pussy, you know, like fag.
Oh shit.
Like only faggots cry, like fuck you, you know.
Yeah.
That type of bullying, dude. That type of brutal bully shit, you know. And like I tell her, I'm like, man, I would hate these kids too.
You hate these kids?
I would I would hate these kids to like see me in that light, you know, because I'm scared I'm gonna get to that capacity, and she'll rebuttal with like, oh well, this is just not you.
Yeah.
You know, like it really isn't. I was like, how do you know? Like, because we've gotten in arguments. Well, like me and you have gotten in arguments, like gnarly arguments, like we're yelling over the phone. Like me and you have gotten in arguments, but when those arguments are over, I still feel so loved by you, you know, because you didn't get evil with it, you know. You weren't like, you fucking bitch, you fucking slut, you know, like, you know, you're so ugly, you know, like. And that's the point where they got when shit hit the fan, you know. Like my dad, I pissed him off. I was like, oh, I'm beating your ass, you know, calling you fag, you know. Or if I pissed off like my mom's husband, he'd be like, I'm not gonna beat your ass, but I'm gonna wreck your brain, you know.
Yeah.
You know, I'm gonna bully the shit out of you and make sure that you know that I embed in your head that you're a pussy, you know. And it's like, but you don't do that. Like when it gets bad between me and you're calm, and you're like, you're still mean, but you're not fucked up, you know.
Yeah.
And like that's how I know you just don't have that capacity in you, because I know that if these kids were to like come up to you and just fucking brutalize you, because kids are fucking brutal.
Yeah.
Like I don't fucking care what you say. Kids are fucking brutal, dude. They're the ultimate bullies, you know.
And it's not necessarily like they're bullies. They're just there's no filter.
Yeah,
like,
you know. So like they're like, dude, they're just fucking like bazooka to the face, you know.
Yeah.
And like, so I already know, like, cause like some like her kids can be pretty brutal sometimes, you know. Like and I hear them like talking to her sometimes. I'm just like, damn, bro, I don't think I can handle that shit. You know, I'd be fucking like, I'm gonna wreck it, you know, like, like I'll be coming in the room fucking all like with the belt in hand and shit, and it's like, nah, you're not gonna do that, dude. Like you're not that guy, you know. But I'm like she's not calling me a pussy, but it's just like, you're just not that guy, you know. You're like the you're the opposite, you know. So it's like, yeah, like I do get scared of that capacity in me. But
would you guys ever hit kids that aren't yours?
No.
Really?
I wouldn't even yell at them.
That's weird.
You have?
I don't know, but I mean, I yell at like my nieces and nephews, but like it's not the same, I guess. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying it because like you guys have like girlfriends that have kids, so it's like it's weird. Like that situation is weird. Like,
but I don't get mad though. That's the thing. That's like I've noticed that about myself. Like, there's only been 2 instances where a significant other of mine has seen me so mad to the point that I was like shouting. And the one time it was with Amber, and it wasn't even an argument between her and I. Like, my mom had called me, and there's like a situation where she needed my cousin to leave the house because like fucking abusive relationship. Right. Yeah, so I had to go and kick out my cousin from my grandma's house, and it got heated, and I was like shouting and like that. Like, nobody has ever seen me get. Have you guys ever seen me to that point? Like,
yes,
you have.
Yeah, no.
Oh, I was like, what, bro?
No, but I've heard you shout.
Yeah, like in anger,
but
though?
not in anger. But like I've heard your volume go up, and
because I am loud.
Yeah, and I've definitely been like, when I hear that, I'm definitely like, man, if that was out of anger, I'd cry. You know?
I've had talks to people about you about that.
Yeah,
and like I've literally can't talk. Literally have said that you're too nice for your own good sometimes.
Yeah,
no, I really believe that, and I feel like even when you know like someone like might be like taking advantage of you or something, like you're just the type that's just like, yeah, I'm not gonna like let that get to me or whatever. Like I'm just gonna
brush it off.
Yeah, and just go do whatever else. And that's like something I've learned about you over the years. And it's like you've always been like that since I've known you.
And I think that comes from just seeing, because I know I have my mom's anger. And when my mom like is angry, it's fucking terrifying. And well, the other instance was with Yaris we were having an argument, and that's the only time like I've ever been in a relationship where the argument turned to shouting, and like I scared myself.
Oh wow!
And I was like, fuck, like I had shouted something. We were arguing about something, and I had shouted, and like I could see it in her eyes, like, oh shit. And that's when I was like, I lowered, like immediately I was like, look, I'm sorry. And like, so what I try to do with arguments, like, because I remember one time Jose had asked me like, oh, like, do you guys get into arguments? When he was asking about Yaris. And I was like, no, this was before like this argument. Right. I was like, no. And he goes, really? I go, well, because what I try to do is if there's like some sort of disagreement or just something that upset me or upset her, like, let's talk about it. Like, let's bring it to light and, like, why? Why is this upsetting, you know? That's what I try to do, like, and, like, that's what I do, like, with Anna. And, like, she's told me, like, it's really hard to be mad at me, I guess. I'm pretty sure I've pissed her off a few times. And I guess just the way I try to handle things, I don't want the situation to escalate.
Right.
And I feel like that comes from seeing escalation constantly in my house. Like for things, like little things and some severe things, and like got to the point where like my mom would start beating my dad, and that's like another rare thing in my household. It wasn't like my dad beating my mom; it was my mom beating my dad.
Oh.
And what's crazy is like I still villainized my dad, like for leaving. Like even as a kid, I guess just because in my head I was just like he abandoned us, he left, right. So like he's the bad guy,
right?
And like. I didn't talk to him for years because of that, like 2 or 3 years. And the only reason I started talking to him again was because of my mom. The whole thing, like, that's your dad. Like, you can't hate your dad. And so I remember the first time I started talking to him again was I was driving. Do you remember? I don't know if I have known you that long. I had it was like an Astro van, but it was a GMC Safari.
No.
No? Okay. So I was driving that around, and one of the axles or something had broke, and I was stranded somewhere. And so my mom, I guess, had called my dad because he has a friend that owns a tow truck. So my dad had to go meet me there so his friend could come tow him, and like basically for free. And that was going to be the first time I was going to see my dad face to face in like 2 years. And And at the time, I think I was like 19. And I think I've told you guys this story, but I was 19 and I remember just standing there, super awkward. And then my dad trying to start a conversation, he just goes, "So what grade are you in right now?" And I remember that like infuriated me. I just looked at him and I was just like, "What?
You want a lollipop?"
Yeah. And I was just like, "I'm not in high school anymore. I'm 19." And he's like, "Oh, when did you graduated already?" And I was like, "No, I didn't graduate. I didn't finish school." And he was just like, "Oh no, you gotta do it. You gotta." And he trying to lecture me, and I remember being like, "Stop! Like now you're trying to be like a dad? Like no, just stop."
Right.
And like that was like one of the very few times I've talked to him that way, because like with my dad, it's never been like he wasn't abusive, and he wasn't like not to me. He wasn't abusive to me, and for sure to my mom, he wasn't. He wasn't verbally abusive to me. It was just like he was absent. And like he did the whole thing too, like, "Oh, I'm gonna buy you stuff to tell you that I love you." Like,
yeah.
So, yeah, it was just from then on he would try to contact me, and he's always made an effort, even to this day. And like sometimes I do feel bad, but it's just, I guess I'm just not willing. So, I mean, lately I've noticed that he hasn't tried as often, but he still will reach out every now and then.
Right.
But like I said, we just don't have that relationship. And it's funny because like when you had asked me like recently, like, "Oh, like how's your dad?" And I was just like, "Oh, I don't know," and you laughed because you thought I was like joking. I was like, "No, like I genuinely don't know."
Yeah, because because remember when he was helping me out with my car?
Yeah.
And, like me and you were like, we went with him. I went with him for a few times.
Yeah.
To go help out someone and shit. Dude,
I
thought you guys were like that for years.
No.
For years, I thought that was like for years. I had no idea that was just like a recent development where it was like him being like trying to be around my son.
And see, that's another way he would like he didn't know how to show affection, so that was his way of like I want to spend time with him. But my dad is a workaholic. Like that's all he knows is work. So I'm just gonna bring him along to work.
Right.
But like he's also very he gets irritated easily. So like I don't know if you remember when I think he was working on your car at his house, and me and you were like joking around a lot while he was working on it.
Yeah.
He got irritated because of that.
Really?
He wouldn't say. He won't say.
Oh really?
He won't say. He'll be polite about it, but I could tell. That's why he was like he joked. He made a joke.
Yeah.
He gave me a wrench. He's like, "Here, do something." And we started laughing.
Yeah.
Because like he's very sarcastic also.
Oh shit. Okay.
But like that's him showing he's irritated.
Right. Oh shit. All right. Yeah, that's pretty gnarly. But yeah, that was kind of the end of but at the end of my story as far as like you know like a dad or a father figure, because even throughout the years I've had like people who tried to be like father figures to me, because like I remember when I was 18 I had moved in with my girl. Her mom like had a boyfriend, like for some reason he thought like I should try and be a father figure to this guy. Yeah. You know, but he was just another dickhead too. He was like a white guy, super white guy. Like he had an accent, you know.
He was like, "Brienne too?"
Yeah, like he would see me go to work and like he'd always be like, "No, you should be an electrician, you know, get a man's job," you know, like because he was an electrician, but it like and then that guy was a dickhead, so I'd always like distance myself from him. Be like people here and there that I'd meet, like even at work, like at jobs, like they'd find out that like I didn't have like a dad growing up, so they'd be like, "You want to hang out this weekend? Me and my kids?" You know, it's like, no, I'm 21. You know, I don't need that. Yeah. But yeah, I probably had like one person that like tried being a father figure where it was like he actually was like doing it right.
Yeah.
And it was the weirdest thing because she was my girlfriend at the time. My girlfriend at the time's best friend's dad. Because we all used to smoke weed together. Me, my girl, and her best friend.
And the dad?
No, nothing. But like we would always go over to like her best friend's house. Like after we'd be smoking weed, because like we'd go like in her living room, like watch like movies and shit. And he'd always like be in the house, and he'd always have an interest in me. He'd be like, "Hey, Luis, like you wanna help me out with my car? Like, hey, you wanna come with me and paint this weekend? You know, I'm painting a house. You want?" And I'd never say no to the guy. He's like, "Hey, you wanna go to the junkyard with me and like get some parts?" Never said no to him. You know, but he was the only one that was like, he showed me like how to change my oil. He showed me how to change like a radiator. He showed me how to change like a water pump, change a tire. You know how to. He was the one that taught me how to speak to mechanics. You know, as far as not trying to get like scammed and shit. Then he even like tried to school me on like how to talk to girls and shit. Like he would be like, just like he would always just be like, just be nice, man. Just be you. Just be nice.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I get it. You're young. You know, you're like 19, 20, but just be nice. You know, I mean, if you want to mess around. But if you're looking for a girl to be your girl, just be nice. You know, be yourself. Just be nice. Don't fake it. You know. But yeah. But he like, I haven't seen that guy in like years either. But I stopped seeing him because me and my girl at the time, we had broken up. So it'd be weird if I went to go see him, you know. But yeah, he was the only one as far as like a father figure, like type adult man, you know, like where I was like, oh, that was cool. That was cool, you know. I like that, you know. Yeah. And it's so weird because like I remember like when I was younger, like in my early 20s, like mid 20s, like I don't always hear about these conversations about what makes a man, you know, like how do you teach a boy how to be a man, you know? And it's like I think about that question sometimes too, especially because I have the girlfriend that I do, and she has a situation that she has. I ask myself a lot. I'm like, am I man enough to be with a girl like that? You know, I'm like still a boy in my head, you know.
Yeah.
But it like, and this kind of backs up the whole like when I'm like, men are trash.
Yeah.
Right? Because honestly, man, like women have taught me more on how to be a man than a man has ever. It's so fucking gnarly, but it's true.
Yeah, I mean, my father figure was my sister Maryla.
Yeah. Like
super tomboy growing up.
Yeah.
But like she's the one. She taught me how to play basketball. She taught me how to pee standing up.
Yeah, it's just like my mom. And then just like the girlfriends that I've had over the years, you know, some of the girls, like my current girlfriend, you know, like she's taught me a lot from the short time that we've been together, you know, been together for almost 2 years, and like it's taught me so much as far as like, you know, maturity goes, you know.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how much of a real boy I was until like I met her, because, you know, showed me a lot about like her past and, you know, how I react to it, and how she tells me like, you know, shit like that, you know.
Yeah. But
yeah, men are trash. But yeah, I mean, happy Father's Day to my mom and shit, you know.
Yeah.
You know. But I want to hear more from Eddie, because Eddie's been real fucking quiet.
I know. I was about to ask
him, dude.
So how was your relationship with your father, Eddie?
All right, so let's do this.
That's all the time we have.
Complete opposite of your guys's.
Yeah.
But my dad does have a little bit of both of yours.
Yeah.
So growing up, I grew up like low middle class, not quite poor, but like wealthy enough to like where I did get spoiled with like all the cool shit that any kid could want. And my dad, I remember when I was very young, we like when I was poor, like we all lived like in a little like 1-bedroom apartment, like super shitty. I remember like crashing on the ground, like my sister and brother were sleeping in the living room. And I just remember like my dad just hitting the books, like I knew when he was like when he had these books open, he was studying to be a mechanic. Like I knew like I couldn't fuck around. Like I had to be quiet.
Yeah.
Like my mom would let me yell, she would let me do whatever I wanted, but when my dad was studying, I knew like I had to be quiet.
Yeah.
So slowly after that, I would just see him like watching videos, like reading books, all kinds of shit, and eventually he became a mechanic. We moved into a house. I finally had like my own room and all that. So like I just saw that hustle in him.
Yeah.
And my dad was similar to yours in the way of like he's very soft spoken.
Yeah.
Very calm. I've never in my entire life heard my dad yell. Ever.
Yeah.
I can't even picture what my dad's like scream sounds like. So he's never raised his voice to my mom, never mistreated her. He never like I don't know, he's never laid a finger on us. He's never I don't know, like I guess he's never put any of us down.
Yeah.
Either. But he was always very supportive in like whatever we wanted to, but he also like wanted to make sure like we had like a good work ethic because just like you, he was a workaholic, and he was always working. Like when I think about my dad, I think about him in a uniform, like in a mechanic uniform, just like your dad. That's
how I picture my dad.
Every time I seen your dad, he's in a fucking uniform.
Yeah.
So very similar, dude. Yeah. Even you know how mechanics have those like the name tags that like they're patches.
Yeah.
Like I've taken my dad's off his and like I have them on my chef coats. Like I've stuck them on there because of that work ethic. Like to remind me when I'm being like a little bitch about something. Like oh man, I have so much. Like I just look down like my dad had it way harder. Like I'm gonna like don't complain. But I think it was just a healthy balance of my mom and his because I got like the cold analytical side from my dad and then the warm naturing for my mom because she was like it was just kind of like a movie. Like you know he would go to work every day and she'd be the stay-at-home mom and she would babysit and clean, do laundry, cook, all that stuff. And I think like I don't know, like growing up I guess in that household like kind of I was fortunate enough to get the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
Where it's like in my case like I know it's rare because like I've never seen like I've heard my mom and dad argue, but it's very little stupid shit. Like you know when you see like your grandparents argue, and they're like, "Oh my God, Suzanne, you left the door open again," like stupid shit, like stuff like that, like
annoyances.
But like even till this day, like I still see them like being all like gay and like kissing each other and hugging and stuff. And like it's weird. Like I understand how rare that is. Yeah. Like for them to be married that long, because I think my mom got married when she was like 18. He was a little bit older, and so they've been married forever, dude. And for them like not to be at each other's throats for being married that long and just seeing each other in like every fucking day. Like, like it's weird. Like I understand that it's a strange thing, and like I said, I got a lot from my dad. I learned a lot. Like he's always been the type that's like you gotta show respect to everyone, even if they like fuck you over. Just be the bigger person. He's always been that guy, and he's always been kind of similar to Birdie's, where he's like don't be a crybaby either. Like life's gonna fucking get hard, and you just gotta be harder. And like I don't know, like my dad's still like even when I just bought a Jeep and the first thing my dad says like, "You're not gonna get a 4-door Jeep, are you?" And I'm like, "No." He's like, "Good. Those aren't real cars." I'm like, "Oh, okay." Like he's fucking old, but he still like has that wit to him, and I don't know, like it's a strange thing, dude, because like growing up, like I said, I had pretty much everything I wanted. I was kind of spoiled in a way. I was always kind of humble, just because like I know like my dad did bust his fucking ass. Like I remember there was times where we'd go to like Walmart or Target and like I'd be like, "Oh, I want this toy." Like I remember specifically I wanted it was a Batmobile that like turned into like whatever the flying Batwing.
Yeah.
Like it just had like all these parts you can transform it, and I wanted it. It was fucking expensive though, and like he was like he knew I wanted it, and he's like, "All right." He's like, "I ain't gonna buy underwear or socks because of you." so you better take care of this. So like from a very young age, like I took care of like everything I bought, all my toys, all like everything, games. I took very good care of them. Like even now, like you go to my room, like I still have like collectibles and shit that I like take really good care of. And till this day, I still have like all my wrestling toys, all my Ninja Turtles, somewhere in a box, but like they're in pretty mint condition because I always took care of them. And it's funny that you guys are talking about how like kids are just fucking dirty little things that just grab everything. And I remember being like in elementary school, like because my mom would babysit, so we'd get like all these fucking kids coming over, and my mom was like, "You have to share your toys. Like, you're not gonna be that guy. Like these kids are like less fortunate than you. Like you're gonna share your toys." I'm like, "All right." So like when people like talk about like, oh, it's so cool being young and like only worrying about like your TV shows and food and all that. No, I was a stressed out kid because I would wake up every morning and hide all my good toys. Dude, I would hide them like places that my mom, I know she wouldn't find them. Like just underneath a bed, like super like, because these kids are fucking chew on their fingertips and like destroy them, and scratch them up, steal them. Yeah. And I remember, dude, I have a pretty good memory. There was this little girl named Kimberly.
Damn.
Yeah, I'm still holding a grudge, dude. Like I noticed that some of my toys were missing, and I was like, okay, like it has to be her, because there was at one point that she was like the only one that was like being babysitted. So eventually I figured out that she would just like stuff her pockets full of like my toys like right before her mom would come pick her up. So I would do this thing where I'm like, I knew what time her mom was gonna come pick her up, so I'd be like, oh hey Kimberly, your mom's gonna come right now, let me give you a hug just so I can say goodbye. And like as I gave her a hug, like I would reach in her pockets and pull my toys out. Dude, I was on it. But it was because like I felt bad because like I know my dad like would work hard to get me that shit, and I would want to take care of him. Yeah. So like that still applies like till this day. Like I have like, at least work wise, I have a really good work ethic. I have like that hunger that never left, I guess. Like I still like, he's always just been the type like, don't get comfortable, like just keep try to push further and blah blah blah. And like always apply yourself, like don't just do like your job, like what you're getting paid for, like always kind of go further than that. And that's like kind of like the reason I'm at where I am today, because of that. And it's like, there's this, I have a job that like people spend thousands and thousands of dollars going to school for, and years spent studying, and it's like I didn't do any of that. Like I took a big leap over that, and it's because
damn, you
of
hear
my
that,
work
Better
ethic.
Business Bureau?
But yeah, so it's so this is why I thought it was interesting, because most of us, some more than others, Birdie, have some form of like mental issues.
I think we all do. Just
yeah, and
I agree with you on that, because I was actually thinking about that right now when you were talking, and I was just like, man, I'm fucked in the head, dude. And I hate that I'm like, I hate that I'm like this. But the thing that I hate the most too is that when I lose my battles, like I blame these men, Yeah. Like I said, like in my head, I'm like,
your fault.
I'm like, I want to call my mom's ex-husband and be like, you piece of shit, I am like this because of you. I want to call my dad and be like, you motherfucker, like fix me, And then when I'm through the fog, when I get through the fog, like I kind of just think, I'm just like, that'd be stupid. You fix it, Birdie. Like this is you as a person. You need to make your own repairs. No one's gonna do it for you.
That's kind of like, do you think? I'm sure that shit contributes. That trauma contributes to your mental. Obviously, it does. But it's like, there's a quote that I wanna by Bo Burnham that I remember he said in one of his specials, and it kind of stuck with me because I related to it so bad. Like, I had a privileged life, I got lucky, and I'm unhappy. And I'm like, fuck, that's me. Yeah. Like it sucks. Like when you have trauma, at least you can point that out and be like, hey, I'm this way because of that shit. But when you don't have that and you're miserable, like, fuck, that sucks because you don't know what's causing it. Yeah. So it's like, man, do you think you'd have all those problems even if you did like have a great father or mother and they were both in the picture? Like, maybe you wouldn't be as screwed up, or maybe you'd be worse. Like, I don't know. So it's a weird thing, and like I thought it was funny that we both went through like 3 completely different roads, but we somehow like ended up like in the same lane, like towards the end. And like it's just weird. It's bizarre.
Hey, what's up?
So yeah, it's weird, and that's like I kind of wanted to talk about it because, like I said, we are all 3 of us just completely, like I said, different paths, and in the long run, like it kind of ended up in the same thing. Obviously, like we all have our different issues and all that, but it's like for the most part we're pretty similar. And
I think I've become really good at suppressing shit too. And I like that sounds bad, and like pretty sure it is bad. Well, yeah, it is bad, but
I had a conversation, and I always tell people like the older I get, like the better my life is.
Yeah.
Like I truly I get happier as the years go by, because I was fucking miserable in especially my early 20s, dude. Like I it was bad, and now it's like I'm so much more carefree, dude, and like I'm not sure what it is, but I think there's like some kind of like wisdom that comes with age, or something like that just kind of levels you out as you get older, and you stop. I guess like you can sit there and like blame your problems on other people, or you know, you could take them head on or whatever. You can choose to ignore them. You can try to deal with them, and you know, there's a million different ways you can do that. Like do you have a scapegoat, like for when you?
Not necessarily. Like whenever I do go through some shit, I don't really look at it as like, oh, it's my parents' fault. I kind of internalize it and be like, it's my fault for letting for this, allowing this to get to me.
Yeah.
But then I try to tell myself, like, why am I dwelling on stuff? Like, why am I? All I'm doing is like thinking about something that like affected me and hurt me in the past. Like, I'm the one allowing it to continue to hurt me by dwelling on it, and I just got to let it go. You know, it happened. It happened. There's nothing I could do to change that. You know.
That's how I see things too. Like if it's something that's out of your control that you can't change.
It took me a while to get there.
Like, why stress about it? You know.
I need to get there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got like a major.
It's hard. It is hard.
Yeah.
Once you get to it, dude, it's like it's a game changer, dude. Like,
yeah, because like
it's definitely easier said than done.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Because it like I said, it took me to get to my 30s to finally be able to do it. But yeah, dude, it's
because there is sometimes where like some like I guess lingering resentment shows up towards my mom, and like I have to be like, no, like stop, like it's just if I let it just get to me again, like it's gonna be bad, and I can't.
This is probably like the most selfish thing I do to myself sometimes. Like, cause I just think about like my problems, and I always tell myself people have it way worse. Yeah. So like I kind of put my problems to the side, but then like I said, like to make it worse, it's like I don't have that like fucked up childhood to blame it on, and like I sometimes wish I did. Like it sounds really like stupid, but like I wish I had like a pinpoint so I could at least be like, this is why.
Yeah.
Cause like man, like sometimes I'm just so fucking confused. Like why am I like this? Why do I feel like this when I shouldn't? Like there's literally no reason why I should. And it sucks, dude. Like, and sometimes I'm like, damn, I wish I did have some trauma, so at least I can say, oh, that's why.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. But it's just a stupid way of seeing things, and like, but that's just like, I haven't thought like that in a long time, but that was like my thought process for a while. I'm just like thinking like, fuck. Like I've even tried to like convincing myself like maybe some bad shit did happen, like, but it's like, no, like, I mean, my parents definitely weren't like, I was spoiled to like a certain point, but they weren't like also like, they didn't let me get away with shit either, you know? It was like, I would say a healthy balance, but yeah, dude, it's weird. Like, so
I do want to credit like my little sister for like helping me get to that point mentally, because we would have a lot of conversations like when she was living up in Chico, because she was going to school for this shit, you know, like mental health like type shit. And she helped me come to the realization of like, or not necessarily the realization, but just a way of looking at our like trauma as like, kind of look at it in a positive light, which sounds weird to say, but it's just like, if we didn't experience all this stuff, would we be the people we are today? Because we do get a lot, like complimented a lot, like me and my siblings, like we always get complimented about how like we have manners, or we're polite, and we're not necessarily like bad people, I guess. So it's like, if we didn't go through those experiences as a kid, will we still be like that type of person?
Yeah. Well, I mean, just like stereotyping you, like if I knew about your upbringing and I didn't know you, I would just assume like you'd become like like, I don't know, like just the opposite of what you are.
Yeah.
Because it's like, in a weird way, like you had the right to like be like a piece of shit, I guess.
Yeah.
Which is like obviously not the case, but
I mean, there was something in my head looking at all that and be like, no, I don't want to do that.
Yeah, which is like, like I had my parents to tell me that, like, that's the wrong way to view things. That's the wrong way.
Yeah.
And you didn't, but because of that, that's why you viewed it that way.
Yeah.
So it's weird, dude. But
what's up, homie? But yeah, so I think that's a good place to wrap it up. We got a serious one here for everybody.
First time in a while, I guess.
Yeah.
For Father's Day.
For Father's Day.
Just to reiterate, I don't hate my dad. I know, like, it might sound like I do. I just don't have that fatherly relationship with him.
Yeah.
It's more absence. Like he's my homie type of thing. But yeah, I want to thank both of you for, as Birdie, thank you so much for like being so open.
I never knew any of that.
Yeah. That was tight, dude. Thank you. But if you guys want to, I don't even know how to end it, dude. Like, this is like a pretty deep, heavy one. I don't know how to end it.
Thanks for
listening.
Yeah. You guys, thank you for
dealing
with me. I know it's hard.
Yeah. Hey, shout out to all the friends that we have that seem to be going the right path of like being a good dad, you know?
I haven't like met one of our homies that like, I'm like, damn, they're being shitty. Like, yeah, like they're all like good dads, dude.
Especially the ones we used to party with all the time.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, what? How are you so responsible?
Yeah. Shout out to you guys. Happy Father's Day to everybody. Yeah. We'll see you guys next time.